The coronavirus has shuttered businesses and led to massive layoffs across the country, including here in Houston. New numbers show more than 3 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week, marking the worst week for unemployment claims in more than 50 years. Marcelina Benito takes a deeper look into these numbers, what this means for the economy.
Mia, there's no question this is a shocking number. 3.28 million Americans filed for unemployment claims just last week.
That is a huge increase from the 282,000 unemployment claims just the prior week. To put that in perspective, there are more people out of work now than Houston's entire population. The numbers released by the Department of Labor are the highest number of initial unemployment claims since it started tracking the data in 1967. The previous high, 695,000 claims back in 1982. Behind those numbers, real people now out of work. The data gives us our first real look at the damage COVID-19 is doing to the economy, as so many businesses and industries come to a grinding halt. Experts compare the impact to a devastating hurricane hitting every state around the country nonstop for weeks, not just days. Here in Texas, there were 155,657 new unemployment claims. That's almost 10 times the total filed the prior week. The Texas Workforce Commission says that's about 30,000 a day, and their phones are blowing up around the clock. 100,000 calls taken on Sunday alone, but more than 800,000 have been trying to get through.
That means it's likely today's numbers aren't even an accurate picture of all the folks that are unemployed out there. Experts say millions more could be out of work before this is all over. Back to you.